What is going on, everybody? How are you doing today? My name is Suge, and we are live because there's been a lot going on, Adelia. A lot of things going on in the last couple of days, last week, but today it involves my team. It involves the
Mhm.
Steelers, and uh, it involves a coach that has been coaching us since 2005. Yeah, 19 years,
Yeah,
2005,
yeah.
or 2006. Sorry, 2006. Six.
2007.
Just 2007. Yeah. I forget we're in 2026.
I was told there would be no math,
There we-
and here we are.
and here's the math. Yeah. So it was announced today that Coach Tomlin is stepping down as the head coach of the Steelers. Um,
Hi,
everybody
Jay.
live?
I think you know
What?
what the occasion is.
All right. Stepping down as the Steelers head coach after his long tenure with us. There has been some statements made from the coach and the Roonies, or Rooney the second. Did you have those
I
out?
have those. Yeah, I
Okay.
have those. Let's start. Let's take the banner down first so we can read all of them. Let's start with Tomlin, Rooney. Let's start without Rooney. Um, During our meeting today, Coach Tomlin informed me that he has decided to step down as our head coach. Obviously, I am extremely grateful to Mike for all the hard work, dedication, and success we have shared over the last 19 years. It is hard for me to put into words the level of respect and appreciation I have for Coach Tomlin. He guided the franchise to our sixth Super Bowl championship and made the playoffs 13 times during his tenure, including winning the AFC North 8 times in his career. His track record of never having a losing season in 19 years will likely never be duplicated. My family and I, and everyone connected to the Steelers management, are forever grateful for the passion and dedication Mike Tomlin has devoted to Steelers football. That was a good one. Then we had Tomlin himself. He said, "After much thought and reflection, I've decided to step down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. This organization has been a huge part of my life for many years and it has been an absolute honor to lead this team. I am deeply grateful to Art Rooney II and the late Ambassador Rooney for their trust and support. I am also thankful to the players who gave everything they had every day and to the coaches and staff whose commitment and dedication made this journey so meaningful. I want to also thank Steelers Nation. Your passion, loyalty, and high expectations represent what makes this franchise truly special. Coaching in Pittsburgh is unlike anywhere else, and I will always take great pride in having been a steward of this team. While this chapter comes to a close, my respect and love for the Pittsburgh Steelers will never change. I'm excited for what the future holds for this organization, and I will forever be grateful for my time coaching in Pittsburgh." Let's start with this. How are you feeling? Because we just went through last night, which was not good if you were a Steelers fan. That game was not good by the Steelers. And then today you get hit with like a double whammy with Tomlin stepping down.
So, if you're asking me, obviously I 19 years with the same coach. That's longer than most of my relationships. Um, I'm a little devastated. Um,
Yeah.
I know it's funny because you go on Twitter, you go on all these places, and there's some Pittsburgh fans who are bothered and upset that he's leaving. Then you got some that are jumping for joy, which is weird. And they're like, "Oh, I'm so happy he's gone, and
Yeah.
we need a change." And like I said to some people, I said, "So what happens now? We get a coach, and the next 8 years we miss the playoffs, losing records. Then what?"
Yeah.
I know a lot of people complained about Mike Tomlin's, you know, no non-losing seasons and how that isn't that's nothing, like it shouldn't even be a thing. Um, but the bottom line is he was never under 500.
Hmm.
He got a lot out of his players. He had to deal with a lot. People forget, like, and this is the part that bothers me and why I get frustrated with players like Big Ben, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Like, we for years we had a really good offense that we couldn't get past the Pats, and our defense wasn't doing well. And then we
Yeah.
finally got our defense well, and our offense went down.
Yeah.
He's had to deal with so much I'm talking about Tomlin had to deal with so much. Antonio Brown and his issues, Le'Veon Bell, Big Ben and his issues, and all the things that came with that. He's had to deal with the city that, let's be honest, isn't the greatest.
It's not the number one place people want to go live.
Yeah, not only that, as a black head coach, you're
Yeah.
constantly being questioned. Like, and I understand the losing in the playoffs. I understand not winning in the playoffs. That's understandable. But look at the tell me since Big Ben was healthy, what quarterbacks Tomlin has had. He has had Pickens, or not Pickens, uh, Kenny Pickett. He's had Duck Hodges, Mitch Trubisky, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
um, Michael Vick at one point, um,
Oh, I
Mason
forgot about Michael
Rudolph.
Vick.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph, Charlie Batch, Byron Leftwich. Like he has a Big Ben was hurt, and when he, you know, toward the end of his career, wasn't the Big Ben of old.
Yeah.
And when he had an elite quarterback, their defense was horrible and couldn't stop Tom Brady to save their life.
Mhm.
Um, I think Tomlin. I like the fact that Tomlin is going out on his own. They're not firing him. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. It is important to point out that Mike Tomlin leaving the organization means the Steelers will retain his rights. He was not fired, and it seems likely that he will he'll take a year off and possibly do TV and then become a trade candidate next year, similar to Sean Payton when the Saints held his rights and later traded him to Denver. So he's not going to the Ravens. He's not going to the Raiders. He's not going to any teams unless a trade happens.
Yeah.
So we're good there. He's not going anywhere, this year unless a trade would happen. Um, but now looking forward, who do you get as a coach? Names already flying around. Brian Flores, the Packers coach. If the Packers coach doesn't reach a agreement with them, I think it's Mike LaFleur. Is it correct? Or Mike LaFleur?
Um Matt LaFleur.
Matt Lafleur. Matt Lafleur. If Matt Lafleur doesn't reach an agreement with Packers, there's been speculation that John Harbaugh could go to the Packers. We would go after Matt Lafleur. I would like Brian Flores.
I think a lot of people would like Brian
Yeah, there's a lot
Flores
of
from
people.
what I'm
There's a lot of
reading.
people. There's a lot of people that want Brian Flores.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is, I'll just say this, Adelia, before you go on. The crazy part.
Yeah.
This is the fourth coach we've had in our franchise.
That's insane for starters. Just insane.
This will be our
Um
our fourth coach. Whoever we hire will be our fourth coach all time in franchise.
yeah. I have to say, Mike Tomlin, obviously a coaching legend in the NFL. Like, you can say whatever you want about how the last few years with the Steelers have gone. That man never had a losing season in 19 years, and that is really, really hard to do. Um, I sort of got the feeling watching that game last night with you, because I haven't watched a lot of Pittsburgh games this year, but I watched that game last night with you. He looked done. He looked like he can't motivate them anymore. He just looked like needed to step away. And that's not necessarily just a selfish thing for him. That could be for the good of the team too, because sometimes we've talked about this on the show before. You need to change that voice that's leading the conversation to remotivate the same group of players to achieve more. I've never really gone through something like this in the NFL. The closest I guess you could say is the Broncos with Mike Shanahan, but I didn't really care that much when Mike Shanahan left.
Mhm.
I can associate this with Arsenal, my soccer team in London that I love more than anything. We had a coach called Arsene Wenger who was our coach for 23 years. And by the end of the 23 years, it was like, Arsene, we love you. You're a legend, but please leave. Because the team just wasn't performing anymore. We went from challenging for winning the Premier League to being like eighth, and that was a problem that he just didn't seem fit to match anymore, and he left and we've improved. with a new coach. I think the same thing can happen for the Steelers here. um, I think that you guys can look at this as a positive. I think the fact that they didn't fire Tomlin is also a show of respect from the Rooneys to what Tomlin has done, because it's hard. It's really hard to fire a coach after they lead you to 19 straight winning seasons, seasons with a winning record, and then you get um, a division title out of it this year too, which seemed very unlikely at points during this season, even though the AFC North was a complete mess. Like, I don't think there was a fully great team in the AFC North this year. Um, but you guys, you know, made it to the playoffs. It didn't go your way last night, and it didn't go Tomlin's way last night, and it didn't go Aaron Rodgers' way last night. But I think that a new voice coming in can help with that. Just because you might be telling them the same thing, you know? Like, they might be saying this, do the same thing Tomlin said, but a different approach in the way you say it, a different way, just a different voice saying it sometimes will make players do things that they weren't willing to do for someone anymore. I'm not saying the Steelers quit on Tomlin, because I don't think they did, but I just think that a change was needed. I think we talked about it, how a change was probably needed on the show. So we do have some comments in the chat. Let's pull those up. Jay saying, "Will the Steelers Ravens rivalry fade without the two coaches?"
I don't think it'll fade. I find it funny though. I see a lot of Ravens people saying, "Oh, let's get Tomlin now. Let's get Tomlin." Again, I just said Steelers retain his rights unless he goes next year. Uh, um, if unless he goes to the Ravens next year, it won't happen. So I'm assuming that's not
I
going to
can't
happen.
see the Ravens hiring a head coach and then firing them to hire
Then
Tomlin next
yeah,
year.
that's not going
I
to
just
happen.
don't see that happening. Jay also saying the drafting of Pickett, Juju's TikTok, Claypool, the list goes on. I don't know what half of that means.
So he because I was saying who our quarterbacks were.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
the draft, Pickett was a wasted draft pick. We should have
yeah.
never took him.
He was the
Claypool,
kid from the University of
Pitt.
Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
makeup. That was the makeup draft for Dan Marino.
yeah.
Claypool,
That
I
didn't work
like.
out well for anyone.
Yeah, Claypool was a good player. I just think just young player, bad habits. That's what got him because he was producing well when he played for us, and then he just went somewhere else, which has been a constant theme with
Yeah,
certain with players leaving Pittsburgh and going to other teams. Juju, just maturity thing. He liked to do TikToks, but it got him in trouble, and
yeah,
that he's had a decent career. I think he won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. It's just but he's not the main guy how he was in Pittsburgh. So, and
yeah.
I think there's been other draft picks that we have just not hit on. And I think you were asking me this yesterday. It might have been Ferris said, do you think Tomlin had a lot of power? I don't believe Tomlin had a lot of power with who we were drafting. I believe that was the Roonies and the GM. So, but then again, I could be wrong. So I don't know. I'm not an insider with that.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
fly.
Fly Fieri says,
Yeah.
"Let's trade Watt for Dak."
So this is another thing. Watt has come out publicly and said he loves playing for Tomlin. He only wants to play for Tomlin. Does he now want to request to leave Pittsburgh? He's kind of going on the downhill of his prime now, and we haven't won a playoff game. We barely made the playoffs this year. We haven't made it in the last couple of years, and when we have, he hasn't been healthy. Does he force his way out of Pittsburgh now? Do you know? I know at,
Alex is
Alex
asking
about
if Aaron
uh,
Rodgers is out.
yeah, Aaron Rodgers is he going to come back now? There's a lot of unknown now with this team, and I saw a post with all the free agents that we have coming
Yeah.
out of this season, and it's a lot. Um, so I feel like to me, and I like I said, and I was trying to say this earlier, a lot of fans are happy that Tomlin's leaving, but where do we go from here?
Hmm.
Are we going?
Ryan,
Sorry, go ahead.
with a comment saying if no Rodgers next year, you need a coach that's good with young QBs, as Will Howard will probably be the guy. Alex also saying Suge the insider.
And that's the thing
Um,
too. If a coach comes in and Will Howard is not his guy, you
yeah.
know, what are we going to do then?
I mean, like, did they see enough from Will Howard this year, like the GM and everything, to want to stick with him? If the new coach comes in and is like, I don't really think he's the guy. Suge Schefter from Alex.
Not even close,
Not
Alex.
even close. Not even close, Alex.
Um, yeah, for sure. And if they do, and if that, again, we what kind of coach are we going with? Are we going with a young, uh, innovative offensive coach? Are we going with a defensive minded coach? I swear, I just thought about it. If your old schoolmate becomes my head coach, I'm not gonna be very happy, Adelia. Okay.
Mike McDaniel, the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that's a good idea for anybody.
Woosah, woosah. I'm trying to keep myself calm.
Okay, it will
Uh,
be it will be interesting. I think that it's going to be like a day or two maybe before we start hearing about the candidates that the Steelers are going to want to interview. I mean, your season literally just ended last night and this happened today. So, it will be interesting to see that list of names that comes out of like who they think would be a good interview. Alex saying Harbaugh would be insane as the head coach of the Steelers.
it would be first. It'd be funny, but then it wouldn't be funny because
It would
then
not be funny. Not be funny. It would be meta, but it wouldn't be funny. Jay saying the new coach should see what he has in Will Howard, but keep his eyes on the 2027 QB draft class. That's a good point. I don't know who's in the 2027 QB draft class, but that would be it. Um, Mike McCarthy as the new head coach. I don't know if anybody would want that either.
I'm leaning toward Brian Flores, uh, Matt
But that's a
Lafleur.
defensive minded head coach.
I'm
Like,
okay
do you
with that.
really need that in Pittsburgh?
Yes, yes. Because then,
But
because
you can get an offensive minded head coach and a really good defensive coordinator.
but let me ask you this right now: could an offensive minded coach come in and fix this offense as is without knowing the quarterback? But with the position players you have right now,
No, no, you guys obviously need to roster overhaul. We talked about roster construction last night on the watch along. You guys need receivers that actually we've heard of. It used to be the thing. Pittsburgh always had the receiver from the draft that nobody expected that comes in and becomes like this great wide receiver. And I just don't think that's happened for you guys in a while. I don't know if that's a change in scouting at the Steelers. I don't know what happened there, but a lot of your receivers that you have, like you were listing off names last night. I was like, I've never heard of this person.
I mean Pickens was the last one, but he's over in Dallas
Yeah,
now.
but you guys traded him away. Like,
Yeah. Um,
um, Alex saying this time let's get a rookie QB and an elder coach in Pitt.
I
I
don't
mean, they're
know.
gonna have probably Will Howard. Will Howard, I think, is gonna be your quarterback next year unless they sign somebody who becomes available as a free agent. I don't know who that
Or
would be.
or trade
Or
or
trade for someone. The QB, the quarterback position is the one that you guys need to address the most. But you also need like someone to catch the ball when the quarterback throws it.
yes, and we still have DK.
You still have
Um,
DK. That's
but
good.
but you need to fix that line. You need to get a second receiver.
Yeah.
Um, there is I've heard this thrown around. I'm not happy about it, but I've heard that maybe Pittsburgh goes and trades with the Cardinals and gets Kyler Murray.
Why?
Yeah, same thing. But I mean, he can throw the ball, and he's
He
a
can
mobile
throw.
quarterback.
He he needs the right system, and I don't think he's ever been in it in the NFL. Um, it would depend on who the coach and the system is, I think, but maybe. Um,
No, Alex,
Alex,
stop
Pete
saying
Carroll
the
is head
continuous
coach.
thing,
Alex, why are you putting this out into the universe? Why are you putting all this bad juju Pittsburgh's way when they're already hurting after last night? Stop.
right?
Jay saying Malik Willis, Mac Jones, and Geno Smith if the Steelers are desperate.
Mac Jones, Geno Smith.
Malik Willis.
No, no, no. No. Um, I honestly don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to feel right now because it's like it's all going to depend on the coach. And
Yeah.
I like Will Howard. He's a good player, but you know
Ryan.
you said shut your mouth,
Tua.
Ryan. Shut your mouth. You said that you know, what the new head coach would have to see what Will Howard did. Will Howard didn't play last year. He was hurt, and when he was finally healthy, you know, they were going on a run to try to get into the playoffs. So he didn't get no time.
Alex
So
saying any college prospects going to come into the NFL next season. That's what the draft is for, Alex.
Jay,
Um,
100% right. We better not see another full season of Mason Rudolph.
I think that a new head coach would know better than to do that. But again, it's like, how much power is the new head coach going to have? Like, how much power are they willing to give a new head coach coming in? Like you said, they trust their coaches in Pittsburgh. Tomlin was only your what, fourth head coach ever, so
Third, no, third. This is going to be
third.
our
So
fourth.
this new guy's going to be your fourth head
Fourth.
coach ever. So they're obviously going to take their time with this and hire who they think is the right person, and then give them time, because that's something that Pittsburgh does. But they have to give him a team at the same time. And I feel like the roster construction the last couple of years, and especially in the last few years with the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh, since Roethlisberger left even, is it
Has been
hasn't
great.
been good. It
Yeah,
hasn't been
and,
good.
and honestly, let's think about this, Adelia. If I came to you and I said, Adelia, I'm going to give you a job, but the people that had this job before you were here for damn near 70 years, like this is like a time commitment job. Like you're either gonna,
Yeah.
unless you're really bad, like you're going to be here for a minute, minimum probably 10 years.
Alex, I
I
don't
lo-
think anyone wants to see Belichick back in the NFL, and I don't think he wants to go back to the NFL.
I mean, if he
Ryan
if,
saying
he,
Cliff Kingsbury is head coach and he brings in his guy Kyler. No, I don't think that's a good idea.
a lot of people are, I've seen Ravens fans wanting Cliff, and I mean, and that's the thing though. But again, what what if Aaron decides, you know what, I want to come back next year, play for Pittsburgh.
I think he shouldn't. I
But I
think he
mean,
definitely shouldn't.
but he
But
he
if
said he said that he had a really good rapport with Mike Tomlin, and again, this worries me about T.J. Watt now because T.J. Watt was big on saying I don't want to play for anybody else but for Mike Tomlin.
yeah.
So I do want an offensive minded coach, but if we get Brian Flores, like I would be
Look,
happy.
I think anybody who gets Brian Flores as a head coach is going to be happy. I was listening to Jose and Ferris talk about this on the morning show over on Lunch Break Hot Take today. Brian Flores had a couple of really good, decent seasons in Miami before they fired him. And it's like shocking that no one has given him another chance as a head coach, because
Yeah.
he's not a bad coach. He's an excellent coach. I wonder how much that goes down to the lawsuit he has against the NFL. Totally understand why he's suing the NFL over what he's suing them over. But somebody's going to have to give him a chance, and I do think that he'd be a good fit
Well,
in
he was a
Pittsburgh.
coach. He was a coach here the year prior. Tomlin called him, said you want a job, gave him a job, and which is why I was upset that they should have told him, "Yo, you're gonna be the defensive coordinator, and then when Tomlin steps down, Tomlin leaves, you'll be the new head coach."
Hmm.
Um, but he went to Minnesota. Now, do you say, "Hey, Brian, come over here, you'll be a coach"? How much power are you going to give him? Are you going to give him,
Yeah, that's the thing.
are you going to let him pick his quarterback? Are you going to let him pick his coordinators? Are you going to, what are you going to do? Um, I think anybody they bring in, they're going to probably have to let pick their. So all of our whole staff, other than maybe Danny Smith, I think everybody's gone.
Who is
Um,
Danny Smith now?
he's the special teams coach for our team. He's been there for like ever though, so
Okay.
he's respected.
Alex, your comment is mean, and I'm not going to put that on the screen. I get that it's a joke, but I think it's also mean. Ryan with a question. Could a head coach job as alluring as the Steelers attract some college coaches like a Kurt Signetti, guy who's the coach
Maybe,
of Indiana? He's doing a fantastic job at Indiana right now. He's got him in the national title game on Monday.
maybe. Do you want to go with the college coach though? I mean, that's the thing.
Where did Tomlin coach before he was the
He was a defensive back coach for the Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl. I don't know.
Okay.
He might have had another job after that, but he was a defensive back coach. Um, I know prior to being a head coach.
Okay. I just know Mike Tomlin is the head coach of the Pittsburgh
I mean,
Steelers. I
so,
didn't
yeah,
know who he was.
I mean,
So,
yeah. People waking up today have only known one coach, born 19 years ago. They only known one coach. So
yeah, I mean, that's crazy to think about actually.
yeah,
Um I think that Mike Tomlin is getting a well-deserved break now. Um, I think that that tweet from Ari Meyerhoff that we read that said he's probably going to do TV or something next season. He will be a valuable addition to any studio show. I don't think they'll have him in a broadcast booth, but you know, he's a good football mind that can. Whenever I've heard him talk, he's very plain spoken, and he makes it what he says makes sense. But yeah, Alex saying, could Pitt get their current OC or DC for their head coach?
no, I wouldn't want any of our. I wouldn't want Arthur Smith as our. If we announce Arthur Smith as a head coach, I am becoming a Denver Broncos fan. I'm over it
Okay.
because I do not want to see him as our head coach. I think you cleaned house. Uh,
I do think if Tomlin's gone, his staff, except for that guy you mentioned, who's the special teams coordinator, is probably gone too.
yeah, and I think you bring in. I think you bring in someone young. I don't care if it's a defensive minded coach or a offensive minded coach, but it's time for new blood. It's time for a new
Yeah.
voice. Hopefully, because reading reports now, a lot of players are in disbelief. Hopefully, it doesn't affect like a TJ Watt, these guys, and you're able to get them back on board for next season and try to do something um, while you can with him while he's in his prime.
Yeah. Well, you understand, like, it's understanding that a lot of the players are in disbelief and in shock because, I mean, this guy was just coaching them last night and now he's not coaching them anymore. And it was his choice. I don't know if when he told the players or when the players found out or anything like that, but I imagine it's going to be hard because, like you said, a lot of those guys, he's the only coach they've had in their entire NFL career. So the change is difficult, like for everyone. Anyone that says they're good with change is lying to you. But change is sometimes necessary, and I think that it's necessary in Pittsburgh, and I think that Tomlin recognized that, and that's one of the reasons why he stepped down. Um, let's close on this because we've done almost half an hour on this.
Yes.
Um, favorite Tomlin memories, favorite games, anything like that.
um, I think favorite game is still going to be Cardinals versus Steelers Super Bowl. We had a great defense, but our offense was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's just how he fired up the defense to try to close that game out um, to win that Super Bowl. I think his press conferences, how he talked, how he carried himself was a favorite memory.
Yeah.
Um, you know, he really never got out of character, and he really never got fresh. I won't say he didn't get frustrated because he did get frustrated, but he never like rash lashed out.
He never lashed out. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was very even keeled. I always respected that
yeah,
about him. Like no matter the situation, he wasn't losing his cool and screaming at players on the sidelines and throwing things and stuff that we've seen other head coaches do.
yeah. And
Um,
so I always appreciated about him.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I just think he's a good dude. Um, Tomlin buying everyone black Air Forces.
Yes, that was a funny thing he did. That
Okay, I don't
was
even know what that means.
he bought everybody on the team black because black Air Forces mean like you're you're about to get down or in a fight or the nitty gritty. You're about to go hood on somebody,
What is a black
gangster.
Air Force?
It's a shoe. It's
Thank
a
you. That's good context for me. I'm like,
it's
I
a
don't
shoe.
know what that means.
Yeah, Air Force
Okay.
One. You don't know what Air Force Ones are?
It doesn't say Air Force Ones. It says Black Air Forces.
Sorry, people. We know when you say Air Forces, you mean Air Force Ones. My apologies.
I
I
am
do.
not a shoe junkie, and I did not grow up in that culture. That's all
We're
I'll
we're
say.
Jay. We are starting a new show where we teach Adelia hood slang.
No, we are not. We are definitely not doing that. Um, it amuses everyone too much when I'm like, "What are you saying right now?" We're not doing that. Yeah, Jay's laughing in the chat. I don't know these things. I'm sorry. I'm also 43 years old and I don't need to learn them. Anything else, Shug?
Wow. So Tom, you were 24 when Tomlin got hired. Wow.
If 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 he got hired in 2007, prior to the 2007 season, I would have been 24, almost 25.
Wow. That's wild. That's
So
wild.
would you have been?
Yeah, because I'm a couple months younger or older, younger than you. Older. I don't know. I look older than you right now.
You
Um,
do.
I
The
th-
beard, the gray beard
the very good.
helps with that.
It's just gray. I think that I just hope that we don't make a rash decision. We get a coach that that will be here for a long time. So I don't want to go through a coaching carousel. Um, and I would like I next season I feel like it's just going to be our first losing season, and God knows how long. So I'm a little worried
Could
about
be.
that.
It
But
could be.
let's see what happens. To new beginnings. I wish Mike Tomlin the best to him and his family. Thank you for being our coach. Thank you for really making this team uh, suitable to watch year after year. Um, and I do appreciate you. If nobody else in the Steeler community or fans do, I do appreciate you, Mike Tomlin. So I know you won't ever see this, but thank you very much, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for joining us here today. I know this was a difficult one for Shug to do, so I'll just close out the show here. Jay says you have the Jack Black look down. He digs it. Thank you for joining us. The Steel Conspiracy podcast normally is once a week. We tend to do it on Mondays lately. We'll have it at a more definitive time going forward, but we are going to have a Broncos versus Bills watch along on Saturday
Yep.
at 1:30 p.m. PT. I think that's the time of it. I don't know when I set the stream for, but I think I set it for 1:30 p.m. CT, which is not right. Um, so yeah, join us for that. If you're so interested to see me be nervous. Like last night we saw Suge nervous. I'll be nervous on Saturday, and then we'll be back with the podcast after that, probably Monday. We'll see. Um, thank you everyone for joining us. Appreciate all of you, and we will see you